Well, hello everybody. Welcome to my channel. My name is Nisi. I'm a spiritual reader from out of Atlanta, Georgia. And yes, you guys see the picture. That is Jaafar Jackson. That is the nephew of the deceased, most world greatest entertainer, Michael Jackson. And Jaafar Jackson has dropped a movie of portraying his uncle in a movie called As It Is, Michael. So I decided to do a career reading and love reading on Jaafar Jackson. But you know, you guys, before I do, this video reading is for entertainment purpose only. This video reading is for entertainment purpose only. I do not know this person. Just understand, is it for entertainment and allege, okay? So, let me get into it, okay? I'm going to start off with his career. I had already, I think maybe a year ago, I dropped a reading down for I think it was maybe 2 years. May I say year or maybe two. But I did a reading on the next superstar. I did drop a name in there, which is Jaafar Jackson. I did name him as the next superstar. And then also, I put a new, like a little prediction up in my YouTube shorts for the next megastar. And he's in part of that too. So please go check that out. So let me get into his career. Spirit, what's coming next for Jaafar Jackson? Acting and music career. What's coming up next for him, Spirit? Okay, so I'm gonna start off with my first three cards, which I have the Tower card in reverse. Then I have this Ace of Swords upright. Then I got the Nine of Swords upright. Okay, so for the music and the acting, I do see there's a Tower where he's avoiding this so much of a chaos or these I can say spectrums of things that could possibly have already happened, but he's avoiding the disaster, the issue, the chaos. So it's pretty much was when it comes to his career acting and music, I feel like it's like right now it has got there was a time, it was going to this it felt like it was a lot of loudness. In the beginning he felt like that, but then there was some issues, and then there was some situation where making, filming and stuff, things had to be, removed and taken out, but he's overcoming that. I do get the Knight of Swords upright, where someone who's very determined and they see good opportunity, big changes, that's really coming. But then, oh my goodness, we get the Nine of Wands. I get the feeling where he may feel a little bit under pressure. Maybe this is something where he may lose some sleep too, because there's a lot that could be coming forward. There's a possibility of him just not having this moment to try to be it's like you're still a normal person. It's just that you're going to have so much you could possibly do. But I feel like there's some worryings, possibility of, just maybe things that just may not go the way that he expected it to too also. But he see big changes for him when it comes to his life. Okay. Then we have the Eight of Swords in reverse, Ten of Swords upright, and then we got the Ace of Wands upright. Sorry, not Ace of Wands, Page of Wands upright. Then the King of Cups in reverse. Okay, so starting off with the next cards. The Eight of Swords. In the beginning, I felt like I said there was some chaos, and it does feel like he was stuck in this situation. He still worries about things, but then this is him overcoming that negativity, or overcoming, taking the control, and still coming to his mental senses, because there's times where you just can't sleep, or there's time where you feel like you want to have this scapegoat because there's so much happening, and that's how he feeling it. Then you have the Ten of Swords. Now there are gonna be some betrayals. There's gonna be a bunch of enemies. Let me put it like this: there's gonna be some people trying to comfort him. I think I have mentioned this before on a live, where he's gonna deal with other artists. I can't even say artists. They're gonna come for him, because you know what, they feel like where he came from, where was he all this time? Why is he here? Hold up. You haven't even been out that long, and you getting this much, press. This is what I'm seeing, or so it could be somebody doing something behind his back that is wrong. It could be from anyone that he may have known, someone that he thought he trusted, but they end up doing him dirty. That's a possibility. I do get the Page of Wands upright, where he's still seeing the potentials, creativity, gotten a lot of other brighter ideas, things that he get, phone calls, letters. People want him a part of their show, want him a part of their movie, or people want to collaborate with a possibility. Well, oh Lord, we got the King of Cups in reverse. There's someone who's like, hey, hold up, stop the brakes. There's someone who's very much coming off as a manipulative person, who very obnoxious, very moody, kind of act a bit immature. Now this gives me and Jermaine. And no offense, you guys, I love the Jackson, loved all the Jacksons. I got a different aspect. I don't think Jermaine Jackson's a bad person, but he still acts as a young person in the older body. But he is who he is. But that's his father. So it's someone that, his father may come off of a person who's come, a little bit. I want to compare him to his father. Talking about Jermaine Jackson. I want to compare him to his father, Joseph. So, they say you're going to always have that one child that kind of going to have your same, mannerism and stuff like that. But I'm going to move forward with that. I got the Two of Cups. This is what you call connection. This is on his career now, which is his acting. So that's an offer from another person to someone else. Or I still say this love, because he is in a relationship, but I'm gonna get to that later. But I'm really focusing on his music, acting and music career. I see there's somebody who wants to, like I said, there's someone who wants to be in a connection with him, who wants to work with him. I do get it's also probably collaborating with a female, someone with a water sign. This is a Queen of Cups upright, someone who's really very supportive. Maybe somebody in his family too. He has a lot of women in his family that really support him, who really gonna protect him too. I get that. I get the Hierophant in reverse. Is that the Hierophant? Yes, the Hierophant in reverse. There's gonna be some probably mismanagement, bad management possibility with this, situation, because with his career, because he got his father involved, and like I said, he remind me of Joe Jackson. I'm not saying abusive, but I'm saying more of a manipulative, a narcissistic, controlling person. And I love Jermaine, so I'm have to keep in mind to tell you guys that this is what the energy I'm seeing, what I'm getting. So there's going to be probably mismanagement, bad management, or there's someone that's gonna, something where it's gonna be faulty when it comes towards the career. So he has to be careful on that too. I'm sure he's getting aware of it. Some more. Okay. So I have the King of Wands in reverse. I have the Strength card in reverse. Oh, bless his heart. And then I have the World card upright. King of Wands. Like I said, someone is being very forceful. Maybe coming off as a bully. I feel like Jaafar remind me of Michael. I'm not gonna lie, the little young kid, you see him in interviews, I said, oh my God, he has a shy nature. He just remind me of his uncle. So the energy of revolving around Jaafar, I do see a lot of, people who want a piece of that pie. And they come off a little bit too ruthless. And in this business, you should know you got to be able to stand up, baby. Can't keep your mouth closed. But there's someone like that. Maybe someone that he knows. Then I have the Strength card. Or maybe if the King of Wands can also come off a person who doesn't feel like they're doing enough. I have the Strength card in reverse. Whereas a person who's really not focusing. They like losing that control. They also just feel like they're weak. This give me that strength can also in reverse can represent shyness. So it can come off, like I said, he's such a nice guy, so he don't really speak up as much. Like I say, you remind me of Michael. I got the World card. There's accomplishments, but then when they follow by the Strength in reverse, there's still accomplishment coming. This could be also a person who want to have that fulfillment and have the completion of the success. Rich is talk about his success of his career. I get the Three of Pentacles in reverse. Now, this talk about working alone, not able to work with others. There's like poor work ethics, lack of commitment, empathy. I just feel like there's like too many people like he's dealing with are pretty much trying to control him. Okay. Then I have the Knight of Cups upright. There's offers, which is I can feel like this give me Jaafar. He's very charming and attractive. And he's taking, like I said, there's offers. He got things that he can't offer. He believes he can do it by himself. I believe this could be him isolating from those people and to do things for himself. Also, I do get the Seven of Swords in reverse, where there was somebody who was probably trying to do some sneaky things behind his back, and he actually called them out on it, or they're going to come forward for it, or they're going to get called out themselves. This is someone who somebody may be coming clean about them. There's some exposure of confession. But at the end of my deck, I have the Five of Swords. I think he actually speak up for himself, but the Five of Swords represents someone that's bringing on this peaceful revolution. Because in the beginning there was a lot, like I said, anti-bullying, hurting someone's feelings. Someone, if it's sorry, it's upright. If it's upright, that means someone that's showing some type of aggression towards others. But it's in reverse, so it talk about overcoming that and then, forgiving, but making amends and just do things the right way. That's what I'm getting for his career. I do feel like he wants to, his energy is like, I don't want to be, pulled into several type of direction, which they're gonna try to pull him into, or they may end up doing it. But it's a thing where he's like, I don't want to deal with all that. And I do feel like maybe possibility that like it comes with his father, that his father remind me of Joe Jackson. He do. So it's a challenge for Jaafar. But looking into his career, it's not as bad. But he's gonna have some bumpy roads, because baby, people gonna want him from left and right, and he's gonna have some enemies. This is definitely gonna have some enemies. People gonna come out and try to put things. I'm gonna say that there's celebrities that want to be jealous of this kid, very much so. So let's get into Jaafar Jackson love life. So I know this is going to go on, this reading go on a little bit over my time, but hey, that's fine. So I'm doing 2 readings in one. So I wanted to talk about Jaafar Jackson and his fiance, Maddie Simpson. So I did kind of check into their astrology a little bit. So Jaafar Jackson is a Leo. That's his sun sign. And Maddie Simpson is a Sagittarius. That's her sun sign. So they have a compatible, they're both air signs, so they kind of got a compatibility right there. The moon sign's a little bit kind of alarming. Scorpio for Jaafar. He got a Scorpio moon. And Maddie, she's a Gemini moon. Oh, there's some bare minimal there. There's some tidbit of a not meeting each other, pay basically this the same, well, not meeting each other at this I'm trying to say it, so they're not meeting each other on the right handle together with the moon signs. So there's some bare, let's say bare minimal. That's a bare minimal with that. That's sometimes your moon signs, it shows who you are. So I actually skipped to a lot of things and got to their 5th house. So with Jaafar 5th house, he has the Aquarius. And then with Maddie Simpson, she has the Cancer in her 5th house. So they both they have commitment. All right. So I'm not here to bash anybody. I want to make that clear. So, some people take these, readings very, very seriously. Let's see. Do I really want to move this out of the way? I don't know if I want to read into those cards. Well, that's all right. I'm going to go ahead. Hopefully. All right. Okay, so let's get into Jaafar Jackson and Maddie Simpson relationship. What's the energy around their relationship? I feel like they love each other. I really do. But let me get into the energy. Because I read up on them a couple of times before. So let's see. What's the current energy on Jaafar Jackson and Maddie Simpson relationship, spirit? What's their current energy together, spirit? Oopsie. All right. Ooh. Okay. So start off my 3 cards. So I know I'm going long on this reading, but it's fine. I'm starting off with the Devil energy, which is the Devil card. And I have the Queen of Cups upright. And then the 9 of Pentacles upright. Here's my thing. In this relationship, I'm going to say this. Speaking with the Devil card, this talk about aggressions or some type of obsessions. This could be violence, but I get the energy more so of someone being very obsessed, or they're very obsessed to the point where they truly locked into this relationship. I feel like that is that gives me the energy of Maddie. Like, she really is obsessed with who Jaafar is. Is it scary? Yes, it is. This is considered a love card, but it can be a certain type of card that can be considered obsession. So, would I call it being toxic? A little bit, but we're gonna move on from that. I have the Cancer, which the Queen of Cups, a Cancer card. This is a water energy. So this is a person who comes in between this, where I feel like someone that may be grounded, but I don't want to see this as this is Maddie, but this doesn't give me Maddie. This gives me someone else. This definitely gives me someone else who is very supportive maybe of their relationship. Possibility. But I can say it's Maddie. I can go ahead and give it Maddie. She's very supportive. We're gonna say that. Or I hate to. You know what? I don't hate to say this, but this is someone who's very caring, nurturing, nurturing. Okay. Next I have the Nine of Pentacles. Talk about luxuriness. Talk about the success of it. Stability, wealth. I feel like she hit the jackpot. She feels like she hit the jackpot. That's why she's so obsessed. And I feel like this is the name that she really obsessed with. I feel like she actually see him as her little Michael Jackson. I feel like she's just obsessed. This right here doesn't really necessarily give me her, but I'm just going to say to someone that really supportive of the relationship, regardless, or come in between of the relationship. I quietly don't know who that is. It may be somebody like maybe his mom or someone, but that's around their energy or so. I do get the Knight of Swords in reverse. Someone is not, there's somebody who's being impulsive. A bully, maybe there's some bit of controlling into the relationship too. Bit of a controlling. It gives me more so of, like I said, it gives me Maddie. But I feel like she's very, like I said, she's obsessed. She makes the move towards this relationship. That's what I'm seeing. I also get the Two of Wands upright. Someone who's, okay, so the relationship is taking on that plans. There's some planning. There's someone that, there's decisions are being made. Someone looking for that and looking into their, their future as together. Okay. And then I have the Four of Pentacles. This is talk about protection of your assets or your possessions. Holding on to your assets. I feel like I said, I'm just looking at this whole, if they do, I think they're gonna walk down the aisle regardless, because that's his fiance. So I do feel like it's a very protected relationship. Someone like really grounded relationship, but it's more so of a forceful connection where trying to make sense where that someone's so obsessed. So that's what I'm getting. It's more of an obsession. I got the Queen of Swords. Now this look like this give me Maddie. Maddie give off this mature, she's come off very mature. She seems so mature. Very she's come off very protected, but unbiased. So I feel like that's her, but she I just look at it like this girl looking into this whole relationship, honey, she is going to protect this relationship, whether people like it or not. I have the Sun card, right? Let's talk about positivity, happy, success. Then I got the Ace of Swords. So this is talking about being straightforward, having new plans, new ideal, and having a logic reason. And just this is a victory to me, because this is always the vision, and I feel like it's on both of them. But I really feel, like I said, let's go back to Miss Maddie. This girl is obsessed with this relationship. I get the Justice upright. Now this could talk about court. This could talk about justice of the peace, which is going to the justice of the peace on marriage, or this could talk about a prenup. But this is the thing with this. When I look at the justice, this is just give me automatically something we're dealing with court, or there's some type of justice of something gonna possibly happen. We just never know. Okay, but I'm gonna look at it like this: that there's some type of form of truth and showing some type of balance. Because the justice is the Libra card, so it can talk about the law. Okay, and it can talk about balancing. That scale represent balance. Let me get a little bit more into the reading. Ooh. Okay. Next I have the Page of Swords upright. I also have the Hermit upright. And then I have the World card in reverse. Now, the Page of Swords. This talk about, there's some planning, but there's some protectiveness. Oh my goodness. The whole relationship is being protected. So someone that, this also could talk about curiosity too. There's a curiosity to what can come next, especially when it comes to their relationship. What can come next? What can happen next? And it can talk about planning, but making sure that this could be them planning out their wedding together. Also, we got the Hermit upright, talking about reflecting, seeking, truth seeking. This could talk about meditation and just there's a time that they could withdraw or withdrawn from certain situation and withdrawn from the world possibly, or this is just be soul seeking. So it just give me that their relationship is based on protection, and that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. All I do is know there's a bit obsession, although not a bit, it's a lot of obsession, and it's only on the girl because she really obsessed over the relationship. Because the World card, things is incomplete. Things are incomplete. This is talk about doubt, self-doubts too. Someone is doubting. I feel like that Jaafar. I feel like he's doubting maybe the decision he's making when it comes to their relationship. And I also get the Eight of Cups. Let's talk about abandonment. Maybe thinking about walking away, could walk away. Now, there's a possibility, not saying it's gonna really happen, but this is could be on his mind, like I'm thinking about, I want to just separate myself. That's a possibility. I also got the Strength upright. Someone feel very focused and determined, but they want to be patient. This is the Leo card, matter of fact, because he's a Leo. So this is him having more patience to deal with it, with the relationship, because like, she is very, overly protective. That's what I'm getting. I got the Death in reverse. Someone is not gonna leave as easily. They're not gonna walk away as easily. Not as what you expect, because it's in reverse. It's like things are like resistant to change, and that's a negative pattern. There could be possibility of, I'm gonna be honest, when it comes to the relationship, I feel like, yes, Maddie does shows this energy of her being very overly protective, and she's obsessed with the relationship. Like, she worked her whole life to get to this relationship. If you ask me, I feel like someone may have set them two up together. I also believe, like, my opinion, and like I said, they love each other. They really do. And it's not me bashing them, this is me being reading, this is me being honest with you guys. I feel like that they do love each other, but there's some self-doubts. There's doubts. There's even when he did propose, he's thinking of, there's like him thinking, is this the right idea? They've been together for 10 years. So it's okay. I can say it's normal to feel that way, because you just don't know are you really ready? Are you sure? Because this is it. I asked her. And I feel like he did this because they known each other for years. He know who she is. She know who he is. And they love each other. I feel like there has been times where there was some ups and downs in the relationship. Who all haven't had that? But I do feel like she is very, very obsessed. I do feel like this relationship was somehow arranged. There was some arrangement. I don't know. It feel like it came from somebody in the family or somebody outside the family, friend of the family, but it just seemed that way. Okay. But the thing is, her obsession can cause an issue. That's a possibility that her obsession can cause an issue in their relationship. He's a really kind of like a closed-in guy. He talks, he speaks, but he's not over, he don't come off mean and whatever. Like I said, there has been issues in their relationship. It's nothing new. This happened, but I do feel like if things there's a possibility that things may not work out as what they would plan. It's a possibility, but this could change, but just me saying that I feel like, my opinion, that she's not really the one. But I would say that they've been together with each other for a long time. They know each other. They love each other. If they can, there's some things where there may be things, they're going to be, the relationship is going to get put to a test. So they have to be prepared for that, because it's out publicly now, and he's out publicly. It's been known. But the reason why I say she's not quite either one. You have to have a strong ability to be with a guy who's fit to be big, real big. That's a possibility of that. So you got to be able to take on that. And knowing her energy gives me overly protective. I feel like she got a little insecurities with her. I mean, wouldn't you not? Look at him. He's handsome. And he's a Leo. Ooh. So, hey. That's a reading on them too. And you guys, I wish them two nothing but the best. I think they are a great couple. They look good together. They're very cute. I think people should just not be so, ugly on other people's relationship, especially these two. So let's keep it cute. But hey, we'll see what it can hold. We'll see what they bring. They're beautiful together. So until then, you guys, please do not be afraid to hit that like button. And please, I don't have a problem you sharing my video, because this is the first time I'm saying you can share this video to get me some likes. But you guys, this is the reading for Jaafar Jackson, Career in Love. So please don't be afraid to hit the like button, and also subscribe to my channel. Have a wonderful, blessed day and night. Peace. Mwah.